All right, what's up, team? I want to share a quick video or live stream about doing property management and doing real estate. So, if you are a real estate agent and you're struggling to get deals, but you like sales, you like selling, you're good at this. I just got off a call with a client that is a BDM. So, BDM. So, if you don't know what a BDM is a business development manager for a property management company. And so they're basically a salesperson that helps them get property management business, but she also does real estate. And so her question was, should I, be under the real estate business or should I be under the PM business? Because in most states, you can't have your brokers, you can't hang your hat underneath the two different brokerages. And you have to have a broker in most states for each of these types of business. Well, there's one business owner that is our client, and she basically is the broker of two different businesses. Now, why would this make sense? Well, because when you're branded as a property management company, you're going to make less money in property management. A lot of them are branded as a real estate company. But if you're branded as a property management company, real estate agents are a lot more willing to refer business to you, connect you to investor clients, and that's what you want. And so the BDM is employed. And so here we go. This is the BDM. All right, there she is. So currently, she is underneath this. She's as a real estate company. But the problem is when she's going to networking groups and events, she got on the call and she's like, I can't, I can't give out a business card saying the property management business name. That is a huge no-no. I'm not allowed to in my state have a business card that says this. I can just give out, this person's business card and say here that you should work with them. But if I give them my business card, it talks about real estate. And so the real estate agents are like, we already have a real estate agent in this networking group. We don't need somebody like you, so there's this challenge. So how do we solve this? Well, to me, it seems pretty obvious, pretty simple. We need to move the BDM over here. And she's like, but what about if I'm doing real estate stuff? How do I get real estate deals? How do I advertise I'm a real estate agent? And I said, you don't have to. Because here's the thing, if a property management business is healthy and you're getting all sorts of clients, these are people here, right? All sorts of clients coming in, and these are investors. They are always going to be buying and selling, right? I'm trying to draw an arrow. Here we go. They're always going to be buying and selling. And so there's always going to be transactions to do. All you need to let them know is when you're going out, finding these investors, convincing them to give them their properties to manage to the property management business, you just let them know, hey, when it comes time to sell or when it comes time to invest again, or whatever you need to do, I'm the best at this. Because who's better at rentals? No real estate agents are better at rentals. So people that are real estate agents, and we'll draw a dude here with a hat, right? So the problem is people that are real estate agents that are trying to get people into rental property, do they really care about whether the rental property cash flows? Do they really care about they want the transaction? And so they're not usually incentivized. They don't carry the expertise. They don't understand how management works. And so usually these are not the best agents to help investors with rental property. So who are the best? The best are real estate agents that are connected with property management. They know which markets cash flow. They know which neighborhoods cash flow the best. They know what needs to be done in order to get the property to be a business effectively. Certain things would be a waste of money. Certain things would be a good investment of money in terms of getting more cash flow, more rent. They know creative strategies usually to help these investors get into more property, like a 1031 exchange to get into a better property, maybe a cash out refinance, to pull equity out of an existing property to put it into getting into your next property, things like DSCR loans, so that if they're already leveraged personally, that they want to do debt in a different way, stuff like this. So and they know the best areas, they know the best markets. And so if you are a BDM for a property management company, but you also want to get real estate deals. Well, when times are down, when real estate is lean, like right now in some areas, real estate agents haven't even done a deal. Some of them, 90% didn't even do a deal in the last 18 months. Guess who's always doing deals? Invest rid of a property or adding property or getting into more or whatever. And if you're in a market, now they're in a market in like St. Louis, right? I don't even know how to spell St. Louis. Did I spell it right? Okay. So they're in a market like St. Louis, which is a great rental market currently. Lots of investors want to invest there from all over the US, all over the world. And so if you are in a good market like this, you're very attractive to investors. You can get investors. And so it makes sense. And so you're never going to be hurting. You focus on growing the property management side, you focus on connecting with investors, you will always be getting real estate deals, and you just do all of it underneath this brokerage. So you just need to go out there, advertise property management, and you will get real estate deals. One of my clients, I helped him double the real estate commissions in their brokerage by rebranding them as a property management company. And then he was doing double within a month because now he was more attractive to investors, more attractive to real estate agents that needed to refer clients. They have clients that they could refer over to the property management brand. They don't want to refer people to a real estate company that also does property management. That then they might lose future deals, or they might lose that client they feel like. So we just got to create a relationship where this BDM says, I will keep your client loyal to you for the real estate deals. You get all the commissions. Just keep sending me property management business. And so then the BDM's getting commissions on property management business development. They are attracting more and more investors. So they are getting big real estate commissions on real estate deals. And so you want to be fat and happy as a real estate agent, you might want to become a BDM. And DoorGrow, we are hiring BDMs. We need BDMs for our clients. We need BDMs in markets. We will teach you and help educate you on how to do this. And if you have a property management business, we are the world leaders at helping you rebrand your business or start, just like we helped this client right here, start a new brand for the property management side. So, and that's why now there's this question, should I move over to this? This is getting crazy as a drawing, right? So, but we helped her start that property management brand. We've rebranded or created at least 400 brands, redesigning them, fixing logos, changing business names entirely. At DoorGrow, we are like bar rescue for property management. So if you do property management, but you're currently branded as a real estate company, and you don't have a property management brand, we can either help you launch a sister brand so that it can grow more effectively and faster, or we can just rebrand you if that's your main thing and you do a lot of real estate deals on the back end, like that client that I helped in Texas that I was referring to earlier, that we doubled their real estate commissions because he told me they were getting 80% of their real estate deals came from their property management investor clients originally. Okay. Should I draw more lines on this picture? All right. So hopefully this helps paint a picture. If you're interested, reach out to us. We are DoorGrow. We can help you figure this out. If you are a real estate agent that wants to start a property management company, we can help you avoid a lot of the most costly and stupid mistakes that people make when getting this property management business started. I've helped a lot of startups. I've helped many go from 0 to 100 to 200 doors in as little as a year, getting residual income that feeds them real estate deals on the back end. And life is really sweet if you do it the right way. If you do it the wrong way, A lot of people go do it on their own. They go spend and waste a bunch of money on digital marketing. They do SEO, they do pay per click, they do content marketing, they do social media, and they're just spending all of this is digital marketing, and they're spending money, 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 and they're wasting a lot of money, and it's not helping them grow very effectively. We help you eliminate all of this. I was trying to erase it, but I guess here we go. We help you eliminate all of this so it takes less money, it takes less time, and and you add doors way faster. That's a door. All right, there you go. So it helps you add doors way faster. And so this is how we help people scale and help people grow. So we basically do three key, really important things. We help rehab the business so that it can cash flow. Just like you would rehab a property, fixing pricing, fixing branding, fixing everything. We help rehab the business, kind of like bar rescue for property management. We've done this to hundreds and hundreds of companies. We're the world leaders at this so that it can make more money, right? And then, so that's one of the key things is we help shore up all the leaks because usually people are focused on the spigot. I'm trying to draw a spigot here, but let's say it's like this, right? The water comes out of. Well, usually you'll have this hose, and this is your sales pipeline. And at the other end of this, there's this business that you're hoping bears fruit that is kind of like a tree here. This is the biz that you're trying to grow, and you're hoping that some water comes out. But what happens is there's a whole bunch of leaks. There's a whole bunch of leaks. And so what they focus on here is just turning this on, lead gen, just focusing on more lead generation, which wastes time, energy, focus. I need to draw an eyeball. Here we go. Focus, cash, and effort. I'm going to draw a beefy bicep, just like my bicep here. If you laughed, I'm offended. All right. All right. So time, energy, focus, cash, and effort. These are the five currencies. And so what do you end up leaking? That's what you're leaking. That's what you're wasting here. If you ignore the hose, the sales pipeline that comes after this. And so these are things like your reviews, your website, all stuff that we help you get dialed in. Your brand, your sales pitch, your pricing, and the most significant leak. Most property managers are selling the wrong product. Nobody wants to buy property management. So we call that purpose. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, Simon Sinek says. And so we help you get that dialed in, probably the most important thing. So if we can get all these leaks dialed in, even without changing wherever your lead sources are in your property management business currently, we can help if any one of these leaks, some of these leaks might be cost, like your website's bad. You can test your website by going to doorgrow.com/quiz and grade your website. If you get a 50% or worse, that's an F grade. You are probably losing out on 50% of the deals and leads at this leak. If you don't have a game to be one of the best reviewed companies in your market, and you don't know how to build that growth engine, you could be losing 50% of your deals just from this leak at this stage. So let's say you have 100 opportunities come in. Now you're down to 50. Now you're down to 25. And then you're selling the wrong product to the wrong people using the wrong channels. And so then this could be a 50% leaks. And then you're down to what? Let's say 13. And then you've got a bad sales pitch because you've positioned it incorrectly you're selling the wrong product, because that goes along with this. So then maybe you're losing 50% of your deals at this stage. So now you're down to 8 or something like this. Well, 13, let's do 6, right? And then your pricing is 10% or worse, like everybody else. Maybe you're losing half your deals here because your pricing isn't appealing to the 3 different types of buyers psychologically. Maybe you're only attracting cheapos, and so you have premium price, or maybe you're a premium situation. You want premium clients, but you have a cheap price, and now you look like a commodity to everybody else. Plus, it also heavily determines, is dictated by the type of lead gen you do. So basically, if you have all these leaks, you could be getting very little coming out of the other end of this hose. And so then you're wasting a ton of money and time and energy on cold, crappy leads that convert really poorly, that are at the end of the sales cycle, that are the most difficult owners, that have the highest operational costs. And then you end up in what I call the cycle of suck, where you take on crappy owners. This is a crappy owner, which leads to crappy properties, right? So we'll just do this like it's boarded up or something, and it stinks. Here's a fly, right? It leads to crappy properties, which leads to having bad tenants or difficult tenants to deal with. Because why? Because you're now a shit shill for a slumlord, and they're frustrated that the owner's pushing back on things and you're not being helpful. And so then you end up with a really low rating on your business instead of 5 stars, right? And then you attract more crappy clients. And so this is the cycle of suck. And this is why most property management companies in most markets suck, is because they take on every client and every property, and then they'll try to do tenant screening, but you can only, like, if it doesn't matter if the property's newly remade or remodeled, if the owner's bad and difficult and pushing back on stuff. And so this makes your business have 10 times to maybe even 100 times the operational cost. And this and several other things that we coach clients on are how we are able to help clients get to sometimes 50% profit margin, where you're keeping half of every dollar that comes into the business. My wife, Sarah, had 60 to 90% profit margin with 265 units that were C-class properties in Pennsylvania that she managed remotely, and she was only putting in 20 hours a week. So our goal is to help you get stuff dialed in systematically, operationally. So that's the third piece that we help with. So basically, we help fix your brand and the business and clean up the front end. We help you install growth engines, so you're focused on the right strategy, right strategies that cost less money and take less time and add more doors more quickly, that focus on warmer leads. And then we help you with scalable operations, people planning a process. We have a system called the super system. These are the three key major things that DoorGrow can help you with in your property management business. All right, I've got to get to my next call. Hopefully this was helpful for all of you. Shoot me a DM if you're interested in maybe having a conversation or working with us or getting some help or figuring out your business development. And I'd be happy to set up a call with my team. And if it makes sense, get you on a call with me. If you are in pain and you are not broke, then we can help you. All right. If you have some money to invest, we're not cheap, but we will help you offset the cost of our program so you feel like it's worth it and paid for very easily. All right. Talk to you all soon. Bye, everyone. Hopefully this is helpful. And until next time, let's grow together, everybody. Bye, everyone. All right. I don't know how to stop this. End stream. All right.